All right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. I guess today we'll be checking out Europe versus American homes, specifically France. What's interesting is that I can only tell you that where I live in Spain, we have multiple floors, like 4 floors, and with roof access, for example, versus the house that we live in the United States of America that has none of these things, but listen, there are some slight subtle differences. The house that we live in Spain also is over 100 years old. There's no central air, so it's extremely hot in the summertime and freezing in the wintertime, right? So we literally live by our fireplace, right? So that's another interesting difference, at least, versus the United States of America, where we have full central air, right? But I'm sure there are a couple other differences, but let's check it out.
So I wanted to start outside because it is very convenient. Things about American homes that I don't see in France has to do with the post office, which is not my favorite part of France. The post office has made me cry numerous times. But what's so great in the US is that with your mailbox, the mailman drops off letters.
Right.
But if you want to send letters, all you have to do is open the mailbox, put in your letters, and then you just raise the little red flag. And it tells the postman that you want him to pick up the letters that are inside. It's very convenient. And
I will say, she's absolutely correct. I'm glad we're encountering an American who lives in America along with France, I'm guessing here. So I can kind of hopefully agree or disagree, being that I live in Spain and America, right? She's absolutely correct. If you're trying to mail something, you have to physically go to the mail lady generally. Or catch her while she's delivering something. You can kind of give it to her if you already have a stamp on it. But that's your existence, right? And there are no mailboxes, not like that, at least. I wish. Maybe I should send one there.
I know in France, they're starting now where you can choose a time, tell the post office, leave something inside, etc., and plan like a whole appointment to get your mail picked up. But I think it's kind of nice that you just have this nifty arrow.
Well, that's what we do with DHL generally, right? We have to call for a pickup for a package and things like that. They will do that. I've never tried it with the post office though.
Behind me, you can see some of the neighbors' houses next to my mom's house. I always feel like I've made it home to the Midwest when I drive up and there are no fences or walls or things blocking the front yard. In the US where I'm from, you can't really see inside people's backyards, but the front yards tend to be really open. That's not to say that sometimes you won't see fences, but usually you can see what's going on in people's front yards. As you can see, the 3 neighbors behind me, there are no fences in their front yards. One of the things that I feel like is typically American as well when I drive up or I come to homes in the US is that there tends to be a lot more cars versus the number of people who live in the house. So you can see here that there are 2 people that live at my mom's, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the driveway, and all 4 of those cars are their own cars. And in France, I tend to find that a lot of times there's 1 car for 2 people, or maybe you've got 1 car for 1 person and 1 car for the other, but there's not 2 cars for each person.
Again, she is pointing out all the things that I've been trying to express to people, but she's putting it into words beautifully. Absolutely correct here. In Spain, we have 1 vehicle. That 1 vehicle is currently sitting in the garage, right? Versus the United States of America, where I personally have 3 vehicles, and my wife has another. So I get it, right? I mean, I think we're a car culture in the United States of America. I mean, we're not really meant for public transit, let's say. Not really, at least. In Europe, that's not the case. I mean, you can literally take a train almost anywhere you want to go. We are just not... we invested so much into our roadways that, everyone's going to have cars here. Not to say that not everyone has multiple cars, but just keep this in mind here. People have a lot of cars. My mother has 7. So keep that in mind.
It tends to be very American.
Between her and her
So
husband.
as I walk into the house, you can't feel it the same way that I can. But there is, first
Central
of all, a
air.
golden retriever. It's pretty American. Say hi, Piper. Say hello to everyone. It's also the blast of cold, icy air that I'm feeling right now as the air conditioning takes over. There is so much air conditioning in the US. I have personally maybe been in one home in France that actually has air conditioning. Yes, there's air conditioning in offices, there's air conditioning in restaurants,
in rooms,
in grocery stores. But when it comes
specific
to people's
rooms.
actual homes, they tend to live without air conditioning. And in the US, air conditioning is in almost every home that I've ever been in, and it is blasted. So in terms of the difference of temperature outside and inside, it's huge. The next
Guys, my wife is Spanish, okay? So when her family comes to the United States of America to visit us, the first thing instantly that they just can't grasp is the level of central air that's like inside the house and floating around. Like, for example, her mother just can't. We can explain how this thing works, right? We can, but I'm not sure she really fully grasps it. Right? She's an older lady. I don't think she fully understands it, but it's cool, guys. It's fine. But yeah, in the United States of America, we absolutely generally have central air in the majority of the houses, right? That were built, right? And heat. Keep this in mind. So just like they feel the heat, they also feel the cool air, right?
The thing I'm going to show you is maybe my most favorite thing about American homes that I wish we had in France. And it's actually part of the windows, which sounds kind of weird. But if I open up this window, you guys will see that there is a screen on the window. So a screen.
I've never seen one
open up
in
the
Spain.
Window, get some fresh air in here when the air conditioning's not on, and it keeps out the mosquitoes, the bugs, the flies, etc. In France, I have never seen a screen on.
Yeah,
window, guys.
me neither.
We have
in Spain.
flies that come into our apartment in Paris. We have mosquitoes during the summer, and I think it's so convenient and so nice. And I have never ever seen one in a French home. So you'll
Let's
let
shake
me know in
hands
the
on
comments
that.
below if you have, but these are not very common. And when I see them, I'm like, we are in the U.S. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is in the kitchen. And this is another one that I think is very convenient and that I've never seen in France before. So here we are at the sink, and
garbage
not
disposal?
only is the sink really massive, and I don't see that as often in France, like these really big sinks.
Right, big, deep
and
sinks.
Also the sink, when you turn it on, you've got this contraption here where you're able to move it, and then you're also able to change the type of water. This is not something I see as common in France, but that's not really the big thing about the sink.
Okay, because you could just buy that.
The big thing is the garbage disposal.
Yeah, my wife played with the garbage disposal. I'm telling you, for like at least a week straight, she'd randomly walk past and just flip the switch. Right? Just be completely amazed over something that we just generally take advantage of like it's nothing and irrelevant is that, right? But yeah, that's a thing apparently that she absolutely loved and was stuck on.
Almost every home
I've
has
never seen
garbage
one in
disposal.
Spain.
So pretty much you're able to put food down the sink, and then you turn it on, and it just blows all the food to smithereens. And you don't have to put all of the food in the garbage. And I find that really convenient when you're cleaning and stuff. And I've never seen that in France before.
Yeah.
Another difference is the amount of ice that Americans consume. And when I'm in France, of course, people in their homes do tend to have ice if you ask.
Yeah, but not in the refrigerator. Is that what you're going to point out? Where you just walk up to the refrigerator and like ice falls into your cup? That is another thing my wife consistently, I think she still plays with this thing. Right? I mean, yes, it makes ice and has filtered water. Yes, it does. That is absolutely something that stands out pretty drastically. Didn't know I missed that, right? But
they don't tend to really have like massive ice makers. And when you go to a restaurant, for example, in France, and you ask for ice, you get like 2 or 3 cubes. And when you go to the US, you have like an entire glass full of ice. Sometimes it's too much ice, if that can even be possible.
It is too much ice.
If you look at my mom's refrigerator, for example, you already have right here, ice that you can get at the front of the refrigerator, which I see less in France, but you can find, of course. But also,
you have to buy it. Keep this in mind here.
Just the amount of ice. So if you look into my mom's freezer, not only do you have like a massive like bowl of ice here for the ice maker, but not only do you have one there, but you also have a second one. So up here, there's also the ice. So she's got two different ice makers so that she never runs out of ice. I feel like that is something that you don't really see as often in France, but that doesn't really shock me too much. So one of the final
That should shock you because it shocks a lot of people. So we've had a lot of like friends visit us and things like that while we're in the United States of America, and that seems to be the thing that draws the most attention, oddly.
things.
And yes, they do exist in Europe. They're just extremely expensive and large. Like in Spain, they call them American refrigerators. And the issue with that is that a lot of their kitchens, obviously being that they're not popular or just not in houses, their kitchens are not actually built for that. Right? European refrigerators are minuscule. I would say at least a third the size of ours, along with their wash machines in general are a third the size of ours.
That is very typically American in homes is we've got the good old couch over here. And
Right.
imagine that I'm having a very tired day.
Like
and
a
I wanna
lazy boy.
relax
Put
at
your
night,
legs up.
And I want my feet up. Instead of putting my feet over here on this perfect ottoman, I'm just gonna lean over and I'm just gonna recline my feet slowly.
Right.
Yes, Piper, just reclining. Oh, and it goes back a little bit, and then I'm just gonna relax and
Right.
watch my TV. Again,
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not sure this is that crazy because we definitely have one of these in black in Spain,
you guys are gonna let me know
and it even has the USB charging ports right where her hand is currently.
in the comments below if you know why, but I feel like that is very typically American to be able to just recline my feet.
I've
And
never seen
when
it,
I
though.
was growing up, they weren't electric like they are now. It was like a big old handle
Yeah,
that you would
yeah.
pull back like this, and then your feet would go
Flying up.
But super comfortable and practical, but not something I see very often in France. Can you
Right.
guess how many televisions we have in a home here for two people? I'm going to show you. Television number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5,
Right.
and just in case one TV with
out.
the workout machines is not enough, we've also
Another one
got
right there.
TV number 6.
Okay, so they have 6 TVs in this house here. Currently, in this house here, let's start with Spain. In Spain, we have 1 TV. Well played. In Spain, we have 1 TV. 2 TVs in Spain. I have one in my studio. But here, okay, in the United States of America, 1, 2, I have 4 in this room. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 TVs in this house in the United States of America.
And
Yeah,
finally,
it's wild. The kitchens and the TVs. I'm sorry, kitchens and the TVs. TVs in the kitchen. We have TVs in the mirrors in the bathroom. Yeah, TV in the garage. I'm just trying to think of like odd places where TVs exist. TV in a dining room. A projection thing, if that counts.
TV number? No, I'm kidding. There's no TV in here. That's just all of the thermoses, the insulated cups that we have in the US. No, but seriously, when it comes to TVs, there are a lot of TVs in lots of different rooms. And most of the time in the US, people have televisions inside of their bedroom, as well as in the
Yeah,
dining
every
room,
single
as well as
room
in
has
the
a
den,
TV.
as well as sometimes in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And in France, I really normally see one TV in the
Yeah.
entire house. So it's just, as soon as I see lots of TVs in homes, I just think, yep, this is
America.
the US. All right, guys, that is a wrap
All right.
on all of the
Guys, I'm not surprised here. Again, because my experience in Europe has just been kind of how almost exactly as hers, right? I mean, I've dabbled a little bit into France, guys. I mean, Lyons exclusively. I'm not really a Paris fan. I've been through it. I've just never been in anyone's house in Paris. But all of her thoughts are absolutely accurate to my my exact experience here. In the United States of America, we tend to have a lot of irrelevant things. I didn't even notice that the amount of TVs are really a thing, right? In fact, I literally have 4 TVs in here for mainly referencing, plus my 40-inch monitors. right? Then plus a TV that I do my my sim racing on, right? And so yeah, like we are kind of overboard with TVs. I know in the UK that's definitely probably not a thing. I think they get taxed for TVs up there. That's how you get taxed for a TV. What is that? Let me know in the comments if you guys know what a TV tax is, or explain it to me. Help me, please. I beg of you, right? But all right, listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly, guys. Before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.